こんにちは、チャートマスターの根崎ゆきです。6月11日のセッションリーキャップを取っていきたいと思います。よろしくお願いいたします。それでは始めていきましょう。
We're looking at the euro. We can see here. Let's go to the. We're on a 240. So we're working a channel here. Okay. We've had a breakout of the day chart channel. Let me just close to the day chart for a second. You can see we've got a really strong breakout here. All right. And this area above here. Okay. Right now we could say we're trading in a box right now. But once we break up in this area, we're no longer trading in the box. Okay. So this is definitely a point where they could turn it down, but they are making higher highs. All right. As has already been pointed out by Frankie and others, that we had good positive information coming out of Eurozone and by the British pound. So Euro could very easily get up to there.
ユーロドルからですね。今ボックスの中にあって、高値が切り上がってるんですけど、これブレイクしていったら上がりますよね。なのでここを取りやすいですよね。その次はこの上を取っていきたいよねっていうことですね。
So we'll see what happens here. In the big picture here, you can, let me put this on a day chart here. Let me just clone this line here. Now, coming across here, you can see how much room is left right there. Everybody see that? I put that line on there. Alright, so we're very close to that top right there. And we've almost taken it out. Now we've pulled back away from it, so now we got room to run at it. Alright? So now let's take it down to 240 and see what's out.
今下のデイチャートのトレンドラインのクローンを作って上にくっつけましたよね。引きましたよね。でもう上のその、チャンネルの上ですよね。当たってるので戻ってきていますと。で今戻ってきて跳ね返ったらまたスペースができて取っていきますよね。でここ200ピップぐらい、150ピップぐらいありますよね。
That was non-farm payroll. Blip on the screen. We're back down trying to get into this channel. So if we do an A. See if you trace them down in here, square this candle up down in this area, and get a bounce. We want that trade right.
でノンファームペロール、雇用統計でこう上がっていって ABC があって、ここから跳ね返る可能性ありますよねと、スクエアアップもしてきましたしと。
There, all right, you see that? That's a two-part trade. So we would look for the bounce somewhere around 31.50. Our first trade would be back up to the 32.50. That's 100 pips right there. And then part two right here is the snowman.
で3150あたりで跳ね返ってきたら3250まで、買ってその上をスノーマン雪だるま式に取っていきたいねと。で3400、3400っていうのがオーバーオールターゲット、トータル総合的に見たターゲットですよねと。
Interested in that, even though it's a euro, I am interested in that. I don't like trading the euro, but I will. Alright, on the British pound, we're waiting for a break of the wedge. Right now, we're still inside the wedge. If they do break this thing to the upside, you can see you got 60 pips up here, back to this day chart top, which has already been taken out. So we're going to turn it to a dash. It's already been taken out. Next target will be the R6. It's already been taken out. The day chart top is up here with a 127 in. So
ポンドドルですね。ポンドドルは、今ウェッジの中にあるんですけど、これをブレイクしていったら買っていきたいよねと。で、ここはトップ、その上のトップっていうふうに取っていきたいよねと。
By the end of the week, if this continues to move up, we'll probably be up here. All right? The measured moves up and down, all the way up to there. All right? So, oops, sorry. All right. So, until we get this wedge taken care of, I would really like to see them break it down here, where they square up this candle somewhere around this area here, anywhere from 55.50 all the way up to 55.70, somewhere in here. I'll be looking for the bounce up to here.
一番いいシナリオとしては、このスクエアアップキャンドルをスクエアアップしてきてから、ウェッジを下に抜けてから跳ね返って上に行くことですよねと。
CAD dollar. CAD is continuing to move to the downside. You see it's gone nowhere today. We haven't missed any trades today, folks. In case you're thinking, well, I thought we should make some trades. We haven't missed a trade yet. There's no trades. Nobody's trading. Why? They're building. So a move to the downside, our next target is here. Our overall target is the day chart bottom and the PSR sitting right down here. So wherever, this is our next target. This has already been taken out, so this is our next target. So if you get a trade up in here, you got to have enough room to move your stop to break even. A break, hook and go here, then we're looking for this. So,
ドルカナダですね、240分チャート。 もうすでにターゲット1個取ってて、最終的なターゲットはここを見てます。デイチャートのトレンドラインがあってサポートレジスタンスがあると。なので今ここからエントリーしておいて、ここに来てブレイク間のところで売り増しをしたよねと。それで今から売ったとしたら、今ブレイク間のところの時にはブレイクイーブンまで、ストップ下げれてるよねっていうことを言ってます。
Break below 101.50, you're looking for a trade down to 100.87. So pretty good move down in here once we get there. Right? Because this is a small area, you want to trade small lots, and your big lots come in on the break of 101.50. Dollar Swifties. We're assuming at this point, we don't know that this is a bear flag. It sure looks like a bear flag. If it is a bear flag, they're going to break it to the downside. So the low on 93.50, you're going to start looking. This target's been taken out. So actually, all these targets have been taken out. So gashing. So there's nothing to stop this thing all the way down to the double bottom. And that's where your first line. That's very close to the S6, which they already took out. So our real target is here, down here. So we got
ドルフランですね、60分です。ターゲットをもうここ全部取っているので、次のターゲットはこの下ですよねと。ここまで狙って売っていきたいですよねってことを言ってますね。ブレイクしてったらスクエアもあるし、ここまで売っていきたいよねと。
Don't want to miss that. Below 93.50, we're looking for a target down at 92.50.
9350、9350を抜けてきたら9250まで逃さずトレードしていきたいよねってことを言ってます。
And then possibly 29, and then maybe all the way down to 91.82. So that's a good opportunity there. Now tomorrow, we just talked about it. We just said 91.50. If traders took it at below 91.50 and traded it down to there, they will be able to count this. Our record is their record, not mine. But we've already identified the trade. If they actually take the trade live, then we count their record and we count the average of them. So if 10 traders make it or 20 traders take it, we do the high out and the low and we average the difference. Right? If they're trading multiple lots, we divide that by the lots. If they made 200 pips with 5 lots, then it's not 200 pips, it's 40 pips. Right? So that's the opportunity right there. Dollar yen, we're waiting to see. Definitely in a place where they could turn to the downside. We would be interested in both the downside trend and the uptrend. Downside trend, we're looking to go all the way to here. Now, that's a lot to do. That's going to take it all week to get there. Right? But if they break here, we'll have to redo the chart. But we're at least probably coming up to this bottom right here. Right? So we do.
ドル円ですね、これは240分です。で、チャンネルの上にありますし、跳ね返ってきて、ここのターゲット、HSI の重ねているところを行くかもしれませんよねと。しかし、結構これ、4円ぐらいありますよね。なので、今週いっぱいかかるかもしれませんと。で、上にブレイクしてきたら、ここに大きなサポートがあるので、リースと、ここまでは上がってくるでしょうねっていうことを言ってます。
Maybe before we break, we know at least we're going up to this part right here, where we have support, minor support, right? So, not a problem. They have squared up here, so they don't have to go up. They could go down. So, I would really like to sell, but everything's going to hold off. Nothing's going to happen on the yen until the monetary statement tonight. So, don't even think about it.
売っていきたいよねってことを言ってます。
Aussie dollar, we're waiting to fill the gap. They're trying to fill this gap. If they fill this gap, which is not very much further, all the way up to here, which is not very much further, at about 75, we're at 60, 15 more pips and they have filled the gap, and now we can go to the downside.
これ OG ドルですね、240分。窓が開いているので、これを埋めてから売っていきたいよねと。で、昨日の僕のロンドンセッションでウェブセミナーでやったんですけど、スコットがデータ見せてくれて、どっかのサイトとか見たら載ってるとは思うんですけど、窓埋めについてですよね、85% の確率、通貨によってまた違うんですけど、8割5分の確率で窓埋めっていうのが発生していると。例えばユーロドルだったら、1年で280回窓が開いたっていうことを言ってたんですけど、そのうち240回は窓を埋めたよっていうことを言ってました。
If they fill the gap and turn to the downside, I'm interested in coming down to here because these targets are all taken out. I'm interested in coming down to...
すみません、1年じゃないですね。2000年から2010年でした。1年で280回ってそんな窓開かないよなって今思って。2000年から2010年の10年間で288回窓が開いて、デイチャートで窓が開いて、それを埋めてきたのが240回と。
93.37. Right?
で、OG ドルなんですけど、トレンドブレイクで売っていきたいよね。で、どこまで売ろうか、マイナス 0.270 まで売ろうかっていうことですね。
Now, if it goes fast, it won't happen. That's as far as it gets. But if it kind of meanders, then this next target comes into play down here at the 618 at 92.12. Right? So we'll see how that plays out here. Finish this fill in the gap, and then we're interested in the sell. Euro yen. Got a rising wedge in here, already coming to the downside, as you can see. So surprise, surprise. All right, everybody see? We said be careful of this because it's a rising wedge, which is a sell sign. Right? We're interested in finishing off down in here, and maybe that's where they'll bounce it, and then we have this trade right here. Right? And of course, there's another big one right above it.
これはユーロ円ですね。10分チャートです。で、ライジングウェッジっていうパターンが見えていて、ライジングウェッジっていうのは売りのサインですよねと。なので、ブレイクしてきたら売っていきたいね。で、まあ、この辺で跳ね返ったら、ここを買っていきたいよねっていうことを言ってますね。で、その上と。
Alright, thank you, Richard. GU is breaking out the top. Yeah. So they may go ahead and go ahead. In which case, this would have then been the A, B, C, stuck in a wedge until we get some direction, and now we're breaking. All right. So if this breaks, the next, I would trade it up to here, and maybe up to here, but at least this part right here. Right? I would not touch this late in the day. Right. What's going to happen here in 40 minutes? Right. London closes. They go to the pub. So 2/3 of the world's traders are at the pub. They're not in front of their computers. Guinness time for Mark. Mark lives over there, so he'll tell you. It's Guinness time. So there you go. So I'm not interested at all. And it's a 60 box. Exactly right. See, nice job, Anil. So we've got a box on the 60-minute chart. This is all it could be. All right. Could not. Maybe it isn't a wedge. Maybe it's a box. I don't know what it is yet. Maybe they'll do that. All right. And then finally finish off and then go. So. Yeah, exactly right, Neil. Nice job, Neil. So, we'll see what happens. Yeah. I'm not interested in trading at this time.
まあ今、ポンドドルが、ブレイクしてきたよっていうことを誰かが言ってたんですよね。リチャードですか。リチャードさんが言ってて、では、トレードするならまずこの HSI までですよねと。で、その上もトレードしたいですけど、今もこれはあっちの夜中なんで、まあ、ロンドン時間があと40分で終わるからちょっと微妙だよねと。でもうロンドンボーイズたちはパブに行くよねっていうことで、ギネスを飲みに行く時間で世の中の3分の2の人たちはパソコンから離れるよねっていうことを言っています。なのでトレードはちょっとしない方がいいかなって言ってますね。で、まあボックスにあってまた下行って上がってくるかもしれませんし、ちょっとまた様子見ですねと。
Alright, so let's go to pound yen. Did we do the euro yen? Yeah, we did it. Okay, so pound yen. We're working a little channel up here. I don't have a trend line on here. It's just too early to tell. This is totally an unsustainable trend. It's totally a reaction, the correction off a non-farm payroll, and so we want to get this thing down here. I'd love to see it come all the way down to here. That would be great. But at 153, I'll be interested at the day chart top and bottom here. This area right here, I'll be interested in the bounce. That will give us a little correction, and maybe we can get a trend on here from then. All right.
ポンド円ですね。ポンド円はもう完全に行き過ぎちゃっているトレンドだよねと。で、まあ、戻ってくるくちゃおかしくて、まあ、この辺りまで戻ってくるんじゃないかなと。で、そうしたら買っていきたいよね。そうしたらトレンドラインがまた新しくチャンネルが引けるよねと。
But we don't have any correction yet, so we need a correction. Can't trade it for 12 pips into the top. All right. So we'll let it come back down 60 and then possibly get the trade to the top. All right. So once that happens, you're looking at this opportunity right here, and then later on, maybe this opportunity. Right? And this is the pound yen, so you can do both of those easily. Right? All right, New Zealand. All right, we're in a bear flag. We have filled the gap here, so the bear flag is really big because the reality is it's really probably that, but they moved it up because of the gap. I'm going to leave it down here. All right? So a break to the downside, back up to the 240 chart where you can see it. We're in a downtrend. All right? So this could also do an A, B, C correction and square this candle up right here. See? They need to square this candle up. So they may do an A, B, C correction before they...
9ドルの240分チャートです。窓開けがあって、ギャップがあって、それを埋めてきて ABC っていう風にこうコレクションを入れてきて、リトレース入れてきて、スクエアアップしてから下がるんじゃないかなっていう予想してます。
Ever get this move on? Once they get the move on, if they stay inside this bear flag and they get all the way up here, we're going to look for sellers to come in here, and we will be a seller here. Once we break the bear flag down here, we will be a seller here, and then we will be a seller here. Okay. So breaking the bear, going to the top of the bear flag is about 79.90, right? Down to the downside, we'll be interested. Breaking the bear flag, we will be interested in the bear flag break plus the break of the support right here because we need to be sure this isn't a head and shoulders, all right? If they come up here like this and turn to the downside, what would this be? head and shoulders, which means this is the neckline. So we got
まあヘッド&ショルダーに気をつけなくちゃいけなくてこのトレンドラインを上にブレイクしていったら買いですよねと。
take the head and shoulders out of it. There's no trade at all until we get below 7,900. 7,900, that's already been taken out, so there's the first part of it, and there's the second part of it. Alright? Yeah, we did it already, yeah. Let me go back to it. I'll wait for the pullback from the rising wedge down here about 130.50. It could come down as low as 130.46 right in here. Maybe the 786 fib, who knows. But we're waiting for the pullback, and then we'll just
ユーロ円でしたね。ユーロ円やったけどこのエルビスが見逃したんでもう一回やってました。次は9ドル終わったんで
and we're good there. Let's show the Aussie yens.
OG 円ですね。
All the Aussie yens are waiting, so let's just get off the yens until we figure out what they're going to do with them.
で、まあちょっと円絡みの通貨がこう待ちですよね。待とうよっていう状態なのでちょっと飛ばしてみたいな感じで。次ユーロ OG ですね。
Monetary statement. Let's go to the Euro Aussie. All right. Euro Aussie needs to square up and fill this gap right here. You know that they do that 87% of the time. They fill the gap, so we're going to take them at their word. 87% of the time they're going to fill the gap. That's too high for me to try to trade to the upside with a gap.
ユーロ OG は今窓開けしています。なのでこれ、埋めなくちゃおかしいですよねと。でユーロ OG は 87% の確率で戻ってきますと。で、だったら買う 87% も今下に行って埋めるんだったら買うのは良くないよねっていうことを言ってますね。
It could fill almost 90% of the time. So we'll wait until they fill the gap. When they fill the gap, we'll look for the bounce to the upside. However, if they do bounce it right here, if they do not bounce it right in here and bounce it up, a break at a 139.26, we're now going to the downside. The new trend would be this way, and we will trade it back down here. We have to redo the charts at that point.
まあチャンネルをブレイクしてきたら新しいトレンドできるよねと。
We know that this is a totally unsustainable trend, so they could really come flying down once they break that trend line in this day chart top. Once they break this top right up here, this stuff is unsustainable. All right?
まあこのユーロ OG のトレンドも行き過ぎてますよね。一回戻ってくるのおかしいよねと。
What are the sustainable trends? Let's pop it on here so you can see it. And I'll show it to you. All right. 10 to 4, downtrend, or 8 to 2. All right. So, is this 8 to 2? Is that 8 to 2? That's 6.5 to 12.5, right? So that's totally unsustainable. They need to bring it back down. Right? So we'll see if they fill the gap and bounce. We'll still trade that upside. Right? And what I'll do at that point is I'll adjust the trend to be across here. This will give us a little bit of a better angle.
まあこの時計の例をよく使っていますけども、まあトレンドっていうのはこういう角度じゃないといけないんだけど、これちょっと行き過ぎてるよねっていうことを言ってるわけですね。
Like this. I'll adjust the trend if they bounce. If they don't do that and they break down here, we could come way down in here.
まあもし下に下がってきたらすごく大きなスペースあるのですごく下がりますよねと。
So hang on and wait for this one to prove what it's going to be.
なので hang on for prove what's this currency gonna do って言ってたんで、まあどうなるかちょっと待とうよねっていう話ですね。
Right. Euro CAD, we're at the bottom of the trend line here. We can either break out or we can bounce. Right now they're showing signs that they could be breaking. But we don't know yet. If they do bounce up here, they could still be trying to build a downtrend and another move here and another move here, and then we'd have a downtrend. We don't have that, so we don't know what this is. So we have to go with the buy. Right now we're a buyer. If they buy, we're going to buy it back up here, up to 35.51. Okay?
ユーロカナダですね。今は一応買い手なんですけども、新しいこうチャンネルができるかもしれませんと。
There's a lot of reason to bounce here, as you can see. I like it to prove it, Larry. I mean, when I'm absolutely sure that I'm sure that I'm sure, I put the order in. But I'm not sure right now because it's Monday. Monday's a really difficult day, all right? Because I don't know what they're constructing yet. I think I know what they're constructing, but thinking what they're going to do and what they're actually doing, it could be two different things, right? And we know what happens with our thinker. Our thinker gets us in trouble, right? No, don't think. Figure out the currency, anticipate the move, and then wait for the reaction. You trade the reaction, not what I think. I think it's going up. You're in trouble. I think it's going down. You're in trouble, right? Thanks, Anna. All right, there we go. This could happen right now, folks. And we might want to try to get it going before the London boys go away. So this could happen. We're at 65. We only got 15 pips to get down here. All right. So you can see they're all trying to move this before that 10.
まあドルフランが動いたよっていうのをアナスさんが言ってきて、まあそれ見てましたよね。あとはドル円も動いたよってことを言ってて。
O'clock bump. So they're trying to give heads up. UJ could go to the downside. Yeah. Quite a bit. There's a channel right there. Everybody see the channel? So mark the channel when you see them. Right, so break of the channel, what does that mean? See that thing we've been doing? We ain't doing that anymore. That's what that means. Right? If they break the channel, then that's what they mean. If they bounce here and say, see this channel? We're doing that. So see, I don't know what it is, but I can see I got a channel and I'm in a channel. So I'm still a buyer, but if I break the channel, I now go to the downside. Right? Yeah, too funny, Larry. Right? And one chart with no data on it, then you've got problems. That's an internet feed. If you have charts that do have and you don't have one without them, then you have an internet feed problem. Right. Uninstall and reinstall. See if you get them. I mean, that's what you do with Microsoft, right? Yeah, still, I mean, if all the other ones are feeding in and one is not, then there's an internet problem somewhere. Right? Well, I've got all my charts feeding. Everybody else has their charts. You're the only one in the world that doesn't have them. So it's obviously confined to your computer. So what do you do if it's Microsoft? Oh, that could be it. I'm sorry. It could be type the symbol in again. Yeah, thank you, Paul and Frankie. You're right. Go over to the left-hand corner and retype the signal in, and well, you don't have it in. See? Make sure it's the right one. If it's dollar yen, you've got USD JPY, and then hit enter and see if that pulls it back up. Because it's something on your computer. Huh? If you get a little deeper pull. All right, where were we? Euro CAD, we're done with that. Okay, Pound New Zealand. Pound New Zealand, we're waiting to see if we get a little deeper pullback here. Okay, it'd be nice. They've already squared this up, as you can see. They don't have to square this up. So, you know, 618 makes a lot of sense for a bounce, but so does the 95.43. So if it bounce here, we want to take this up to here. If it comes down here, we want to take it up to here.
ポンドキウイですね、240分、いや60分ですね。ポンドキウイの60分チャートです。で、もうちょっとディーパーリトレースメント、もうちょっと深いリトレースメントっていうことですけど、もうちょっと下がってこないかなっていうことを言ってて、まあ、618のフィブっていうのはメイクセンス、わかりますよね。なんていうんですか。メイクセンスってなんて言うんでしょう。納得できますよねと。で、まあ、786でもまあ納得できますよね。まあ、とにかく跳ね返ってきたら買っていきたいよね。ここまで買っていきたいよねと。
We have two-part trade. First part is here between these two fibs, and the second part is above those two fibs. Right? So it's very simple to see that. 1 and 2. Right? Now, see, if you get your chart set up, the trades become evident. If you don't have your chart set up, you can't find a trade anywhere because you're looking for a trade setup as opposed to what's the structure of the market. Silver, all right, we could have a head and shoulders in here. We'd love to see a bounce and a break to the upside, and maybe this will be the start of the greatest uptrend in the history of silver. Who knows?
銀ですね、XAG。ヘッドのショルダーが見えてますと。これ240分チャートです。で、もしかしたらここからもう歴史的なアップトレンドが始まるかもしれませんよねと。
But we still got to break this neckline if this is a head and shoulders. So nothing to do until we break above here, and now we're looking at coming up to the day chart top. If it comes up to the day chart top and turns to the downside, we're going down again. But if we break this thing, now we're underway for potentially a big move.
で、まあ、ここのネックラインっていうのを割ってきたら買いですけども、そうしたらここのデイチャートの、トレンドラインありますよね。で、ここで跳ね返されるかもしれないですし、上にブレイクしていったらもうこれレディートゥーゴーですよね。上に行く準備が整ったと。
Thank you, Frankie. Let me finish this off. Dollar, what are they doing? They're selling dollars. Surprise, surprise. It's a bear flag. It's a selling sign, not a buying sign. So they're selling dollars. Makes total sense here. Right? That means the euro would go up and the pound would go up. Right? Pound chief.
ドルインデックス今ベアフラッグ出てましたよねと。で、これ買いのサインじゃなくて売りのサインですよねと。で、そしたらユーロとかポンドっていうのは上がっていくし、ドル円、ドルフランっていうのは下がりますよね。メイクセンス、納得いきますと。で、次、ポンドフランの240分です。
We're waiting to see if this pound chief will break to the north. It's looking nasty right now. Right now we're stuck inside this wedge, as you can see, right there. A break to the north. We're looking to come up here to the 4,700. A break to the south. We're looking to come down to the day chart bottom at 4,400. Right?
ポンドフランはウェッジにあって上に抜けてきたらこのデイチャートのトレンドライン、下に抜けてきたら、4400と4400ですね。これロンドンセッションのウェブセミナー僕のでやりましたね。4400っていうところは、一つの強いポイントだよねっていう話でした。
Right. Till that happens, you don't want to get stuck in the middle right in here. Right? So wait for that to happen. We'll take both of those. We'll pull this down above 4,500, 4,600 I'm interested, and below 4,530 right here. I'm interested. I'm not going to double my position there. Take that off. Alright. Pound Aussie. Alright. Unsustainable trend, as you can see. Totally unsustainable trend. So the same thing. We do have a head and shoulders in play. We have a gap to fill. They haven't quite filled the gap, but there's a head and shoulders right there. And if we fill the gap and we do not bounce, then we're coming down in here. All right? And they could sure use a correction down in this area right here. Yeah, they got a gap right there, so they got to fill it. It's not very...
ポンド時ですね、240分。まず窓開けです。窓開けがあるので埋めてこなきゃおかしい。で、アンサステイナブルトレンド。行き過ぎているトレンドなので戻ってこなきゃおかしい。ヘッド&ショルダーが見えています。なので、ネックライン割ってきたら売りですと。でもしこのまま跳ね返ってきたら上ですけども、ブレイクしていったらここまで、売っていきたいよねってことを言ってます。
They'll surely fill it. Let's see what's the percentage chance of them filling the pound Aussie?
forex-tribe.com っていうところでこれ窓開けですよね。窓開けのパーセンテージ、さっき言ってたやつなんですけど、これパーセンテージ載ってます。ユーロ円10年で111回やって、その中で85回埋めてきたんですかね。っていうようなことが載ってます。で、24時間以内っていうまずデータがあったりするわけですよね。
80%. Yeah, 80% chance of filling the gap on this. I'm not going to trade against an 80% gap.
ポンド時の窓開けの確率は 80%。なので、買いでは今やりたくないですねと。売りで見ていきたいなと。
So, but they could come down here and bounce on this day chart bottom with the top, which they've already taken out. So that's a very real possibility. Take this out and then go back up to the top, maybe the 12705. Right? I would really be looking for a correction because there's no way that is a sustainable trend, as you can see. There's no thinking way that is a sustainable trend. All right, there we go. So you can compare them, and you can see them. That's the trend it should be doing. Follow that there, right like that, and instead it's doing this. Not sustainable. So correction could happen. Which one? EU. Yeah. You know, look, it may have corrected. I don't know, folks. I draw that line. I'm not going to touch it till it does that. You know, this is an ABC, so they could bounce here. It's not very deep, and they had an opportunity to come down and square this up. I'm surprised they didn't take it, but you know they don't have to do what they don't. Could we also make a case that that's a bear flag? Let's go ahead and do the move to the downside. Would everybody agree with that? So that's in the mix. All right, so let's take a look at what she says on a 10-minute chart. She's saying, I don't know. I'm leery of it. I'm leery of it. It has made a higher high. So that's a good sign. At any rate, they still got to correct it. They still got to square up the candle. So if they come down here and bounce again, maybe I'll take it. I'm not going to take it here. I would take it when they squared up this candle and went. Why? Because 95, 98, 99% of all candles square up. All right, on a 10-minute chart. 99% of them do. This may be the 1% that doesn't. That's true. But I got to count that 99% of them are going to, so I'm going to put that in a mix and say, I'll see if it pulls back. Good news is it made a higher high. So, all right, and New Zealand, nothing to do here. We're just watching it. That's all we're doing right now. Watching it. Sure does trend nice. Man, sure is perfect. All right, that's what I see, folks. I'll see everybody at 8:30 tonight Eastern Time. That's 7:30 Central Eastern Time for beginners class 2. Yeah, thank you, Frankie. And I'll see my Endeavor class traders, live room subscribers, fast trackers. I'll see you at 9:45 Eastern Time. Everybody have a great day. Be careful. It's Monday. You can't trust that day. Alright.
はい、というわけで今日のセッションリキャップここまでです。最後マンデーって言ってたんですけど、月曜日なんで注意してトレードしようねってことを言ってました。Nobody can trust on Monday って言ってたんで、マンデー、月曜日は信用できない日だよねっていうことを言ってたんで、今日は火曜日なんでね、僕たちは関係ないですけど、そんな感じで今日のセッションリキャップ、ここまでです。また明日撮っていきたいと思います。それではどうもありがとうございました。失礼します。